I have been a psychologist for 20 plus years. I was 5 when I started in the field. And I am also certified in 9 methods of complementary healthcare, most specifically for me, energy medicine.
My name is Dr. Dorothy Martin-Neville. I'm an international speaker, author, and psychotherapist, and healer. We are called to live this life, not survive it. And my experience just as a woman living on this earth for so many years at this point, but also as a therapist. Since 1985, I've been a psychotherapist. And my experience is so many people, the vast majority, are surviving this journey. They are not living it. And we have been called to live this journey with passion, with vibrancy, and aliveness. When we do that, we have our spiritual health, we have our emotional health, and we have our physical health. Only to the extent that we step out of that vibrancy and that aliveness and that passion in a grounded, centered way. When we step out of that, we move into a place of dis-ease. Human. Nobody's going to be in the perfect place all the time. Nobody. And so you can expect to come in and out of that place of really being comfortable in your own skin, being thrilled to be alive, being thrilled with where you are in your life. So accept that you're going to be moving in and out of that. But when you're out of it, there's something that took you out. There's some belief system you went to, or some emotional experience you've decided you're a victim, or you're an aggressor, or you're overwhelmed, or you're powerless. Whatever you've decided, that's a lie. That's a lie you tell yourself that gives you permission to step out of your truth.
We can talk about it in the medical community. We can talk about the spiritual beliefs, and we can talk about your emotions impacting health. To me, what is so much more important is the fact that we are embodied souls. And when we forget that, reality, we start believing that we are simply these physical bodies. And in my experience, what ends up happening is people end up surviving this journey, not living it. And I truly, truly believe that we are called to live this journey, not survive it. And in my experience, I see so many people surviving this journey. They get through the day, they get through the year, they get through their job, whatever their experience is, they're getting through. They are just getting by. When you live your life that way, you end up becoming physically ill. We are meant to thrive. We are meant to be passionate, vibrant, alive people. And if you are not, I truly believe there is a disconnection there from the essence of your own soul.
When you want to move into thriving, the simplest thing is to take a look at how blessed you've been. Take a look at all the blessings in your life at this moment, because it's easy to lose sight of those when we're surviving. But if we step back and take a look at the blessings in our lives, whatever they may be for you, we all have people in our lives who love us if we let people in. I think the easy way out is to play victim. The easy way out is to get angry. Because you see, when you can play victim, when you can become angry, when you can know the world is against you, it gives you permission to stay stuck. Staying stuck for me was not an option. I did not want to stay stuck. I did not want to resent my life. I did not want to go through the motions. I am a very passionate, alive, vibrant woman, and I wanted to live it. Even before I knew those words, before I knew what that truly meant, I knew that I wanted to live it and be absolutely alive. Anything that is foreign, anything that is new, anything you haven't experienced is a risk, and it's scary. My experience, and that of over 1,000 students that I've taught, and thousands of patients I have seen over 25 plus years, is that each time you take a risk and you jump off that cliff, no matter what happens, you end up with more of you than you had before you jumped. If you took a risk and opened up a business and you had it for a year, 2 years, and it didn't work, the year is over, but think of who you are that day you decide to close the business versus who you were before you started. You learned so much about you. You learned about you as an entrepreneur. You learned things about having a business you didn't know you didn't know. You learned strengths you didn't know you have. You learned perseverance. You learned so much about you that if you choose to have another business, to be an entrepreneur again, you've got more awareness, more self-understanding of your strengths as well as your weaknesses. You've got more awareness of what it means to be an entrepreneur. And go for it. And if you don't choose to do that again and you go back to corporate life or to working for somebody else's small business, you have a sense of self you never had before. You're bringing more to your next job and to your relationships because you didn't just grow professionally. You have more of you, which means you have more of you to bring into your relationship, whether it's a new one or the same one. You're bringing a richness, a freshness, a gift of you into your relationship, and you grow on every level. And you fall in love with yourself more because you see there's more of you to love. It's a way of evolution. It's a way of becoming more and more who you're meant to be. My first book is entitled Dreams Are Only the Beginning, Becoming Who You're Meant to Be. And in the backdrop of that is my story of growing up in the projects and being, entering religious life, leaving religious life, moving to Manhattan, becoming an international airline stewardess, and all the many adventures I've had in my life. But what also is up front, is the main theme of that book, is that I believe every dream we have to become whatever, to do whatever it is with our lives, every dream we have is our soul's way of calling us to becoming who we're meant to be. And you learn that every single dream builds on the next. Every single wish builds on the next. You know, it just keeps going and going without end. Each one of us has our own purpose. Each one of us has something different that's called us. And you only discover what that is by taking risks. You only discover what that is by trying this out. I tried this job. Ooh, this isn't me at all. It sounded terrific. But that's not me. Oh, I tried to open up a business doing this, and ooh, now that I realize that, I don't like all the back room aspects of that. So no, that's not me. So when you finally find something and say, ooh, this best expresses who I am, you go for it. Being a psychotherapist, it never ever dawned on me that I would be working with physical health. It never dawned on me that I would understand anything about energy medicine. I had never heard about it in my life until I was in my 30s. So it was not a dream of mine as a child. But my dream to become a social worker led me to college. And entering college and entering religious life, when I was sent to Canada, a Canadian community, because I was illegitimate, I needed to learn a second language. So I learned French, and as I left religious life and I decided to become an international airline stewardess, you needed 2 languages. Who would have known that I entered religious life, learned a second language, and I could use that in the airlines. So when you see each one builds, you discover who you are piece by piece, dream by dream, and each one of us has to take that risk because nobody else is here to live my dream but me. And so nobody else can live your dream but you. So you find that out one dream at a time, each one building on the other until you discover I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, at least for the moment. Hopefully in 5 years you look back and think of who you were 5 years before and realize, oh my God, I have so much more of me. I have so much more appreciation for life. I have so many more skills. I am so much more alive. When you're living your destiny, what happens to your body is it literally comes alive. You are living your passion. You are living your vibrancy. Your heart opens up enormously. You learn to love yourself. You learn to love life. You learn to love the people in your life. And you feel so blessed that you've got all of this. And when you have that passion, that vibrancy, and that aliveness, you automatically tend to take care of yourself. You tend to eat better, you sleep better, you play better. And when you're really living your passion, you're not going to doing a lot of self-destructive behaviors because they get in the way. When we are all living our passion, just imagine this, all living our vibrancy, all really being fully alive, what I see is a community of people that are truly there supporting each other, encouraging each other, letting each know there's no competition here. There isn't, it's either me or you. There isn't, I have to crush you, I have to get you out of the way so I can succeed. There's a realization that what I bring as a therapist, as a healer, as an author, nobody else brings. And I truly believe that if all of us are living our passion, living our dreams, we are so content and happy with where we are that it's second nature to want to support everybody else coming up and living their dream and their passion as well. From my perspective, and I acknowledge I am an unabashed optimist, that when we have enough of us putting out there that we are all in this together, we create community. We create it that we all come in to rescue. Unfortunately, oftentimes it takes something horrific to get people to say, oh my goodness, everybody needs help. Everybody needs my support. And people join in to help the victims of a hurricane, which shows we've got that skill set, which shows we have that heart that is open to support others who don't have, which shows we have a heart that calls us to do more and become more. People will say to me when they've left a horrible situation which they helped, my life will never be the same. I've been touched in a way that I will never be who I was before. A complacency I had will never exist again. And think about that. They took a risk. They became more than who they were before the situation. What if we lived our lives like that? What if we lived our lives in anticipation that something could happen, and we work preventatively, and we work together as a community to support the environment, to support others, to support community. And we did this not as martyrs, not as victims, but because it's who we are. When I realized that what fed my soul was my ability to help others reach their goals, when I saw how frequently I was able to support other people in taking risks, and they would come back and say, thank you. If it wasn't for you, I couldn't have done this or this or this. I don't believe that. I think I may have been the channel, I may have been the assist, but if they hadn't been willing to take the risk and do it, no matter how much I gave them, they couldn't have gotten where they wanted to go. We did it as a team. And so for me, seeing that when I work together with people to support them achieving everything they want to achieve, it fed my soul. When I realized that every time I could put a hand out and pick somebody up, they could take off and fly and help others, it fed my soul. And I just kept getting fed more and more by my ability to support other people living theirs. And I realized the feeling I had was of being so absolutely alive, so absolutely vibrant, and so much more me than I had ever been before. And I loved the feeling of being more me than I had ever been before. This was a hunger I had. This was a yearning I had all of my life. And it doesn't change. I've done that. I did that through my practice. I then did that through my school. I've done that through my books. And now I'm doing through speaking engagements in radio and television and reaching larger audiences. My wish for all of us is that we truly live from the essence of who we are, always becoming more and more of who we're meant to be. And because I believe every one of us is an intrinsically holy spiritual being, if you truly live who you are is the gift you're bringing to the planet. It isn't what you do, it isn't what you achieve. You're the gift you bring to the planet. Simply by being who you are, you will instinctively add to the lives of everybody you touch. You will instinctively bring a gift nobody else could bring but you. And what a world this would be if we were all taking a risk on truly being who we are, rather than fighting for a cause that ends up taking us away from the truth of who we are. We give ourselves up for the cause, rather than recognizing that we are the gift. You can find me through my website, Dr. Dorothy, CT for Connecticut, drdorothyct.com. You can email me, Dorothy, at drdorothyct.com, or call me at 860-461-7569. I'd love to hear from anybody who I could help or support or bring this message to in a small or large way. I thoroughly enjoy supporting others going to the next step in their journey.